Welcome to Renaissance of Wrestling, where I'm gonna today's episode going to go over the Wrestlemania card. I'm gonna say who I think should win and what I think they should do going forward. And I'm from there also going to I'm gonna have a match that I think should be on there as well. So hear me out. So I'm gonna start with the to be announced for what day they're gonna be on because we know which one the main events are gonna be on. So I'm gonna start off with the to be announced which night they're gonna be on matches. So starting with Io Sky versus Bailey. Now, I don't have the attachment to what's going on here as other people would because, like I said, I've just got back into full fledged rewatching wrestling again, and I honestly do think WWE could be a lot better. They need to pick a direction of the PG or attitude because this in between has a lot of segments that are just not hitting. And for that reason, when I look at this feud, I would personally say Io Sky should win. Just because of what I've seen so far, I do like what Io Sky has been doing. She feels like she has a great thing working for her where she becomes the almost like she becomes the new leader of damage control. And she goes from being like she's in Bailey's shadow to being the leader. She feels like she's the captain now. I like that story, and she has a lot of charisma. She's great as a champion. I actually would like to see from here. This is going to tie into what I'm going to talk about later on, but I would like to see Asuka break out from Damage Control and take the title from her. I do think for everything that we can say about Io Sky, we could say more about with Asuka. Asuka's great. She has just as much, if not more, charisma. She is a former champion in her own right. Also, we've seen what she can do in the what's it called? We've seen what she can do with winning the Royal Rumble, taking like taking that next step with the WWE, I should say. So I would like to see that, to be honest. With the next one, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. I actually don't know too tough. I feel like it could really go either way. You can keep the belt on Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley looks like she can be the biggest star in WWE right now. And I can't recall the last time that's been able to be said about a woman in wrestling that she can be the biggest thing. But Rhea is that. But at the same time, I can understand a viewpoint of taking the belt off of her before it feels stale. That's a very fair point. We can do that as well. And Becky makes sense to do that. Why not power scale and make her feel a bit stronger than she has lately? I can understand that too. The women's division in Raw, sorry, it can feel stronger with doing that. Maybe having this like feud between them that can span the next few pay-per-views, to be honest, can really work out and help give the other women on Raw more time to feel like, boom, they can have a big match with them. There's also probably going to be a draft of some sort that happens in a few months that balance things out. So who knows? Next match, and this is Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I'm not going to waste too much time. I had a whole episode about who I think should win this one. I'll put the link in the bio down below of what I said. But it should be Sami Zayn. And Gunther should move up. Sami Zayn should be a fighting Intercontinental Champion and make those wars feel special as well. Next match is the Judgment Day versus 5 teams to be announced. It seems pretty clear that the 5 teams are going to be Czech Republic, um, Awesome Truth, DIY. I actually I don't even I can't really tell who's going to be the other 2 teams. I don't think it's really going to matter because I think it's going to be. I see it being Awesome Truth winning. I don't know how long our Truth is also going to be back. If it's only going to be a short term, but I don't see Judgment Day retaining their titles. They need to split up the tag titles anyway. it puts too much people with not anything really to do. We have a lot of feuds going on SmackDown anyway. Let's just split these titles up. Next one is LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Uh I'm Here's the thing. I think it should be LA Knight to win. I'm honestly not the biggest LA Knight fan. I feel like there's nights I see the charisma that everyone gets with him. Other nights I don't see it. I've never really seen a LA Knight match where I'm like, oh, this was entertaining. But he is over. I think he should take it. AJ Styles is getting to that point in his career. I think he just needs to focus on putting the younger guys over. AJ Styles has been in this business for I think 20 plus years now. He started in 2003 and we're in 2024. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he started in 2003 if I remember correctly with TNA. He's at the time where he can just do a veterans run, part-timer. He's earned that. Just put over some younger talent, have some big marquee matches whenever you want. Maybe he should win. And this should be the start of it being like, hey, we're going to tell a story of AJ Styles being that guy. He doesn't need to be on SmackDown every week. I think that's actually the biggest way of making someone feel like him these days is them not having to show up all the time. Next one is Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. And the thing is, I strongly do think Jey Uso should win. But I actually just so it's not too. Because here's the thing with WrestleMania, you need to not so much decide who's the most over person all the time, but sometimes you really just have to go with how you pretty much just have to decide that you can't have all the good guys win. So you have to sometimes think of the bad guys that can win, who am I going to choose? And in this case, I'm okay with it being Jimmy. Maybe Solo interferes and helps him win. But in some snarky way, Jimmy gets the win over him. Jay's already super over. This loss will not do anything to hurt that. They already split them up on different brands. It can also bleed into the main event with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns if that happens. So for that reason, I say go with Jimmy. Now, Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. It actually feels like Kevin Owens is in this match so that he could win. But I actually think they should keep it with Logan Paul winning it. This almost feels like if you remember last year when Sheamus, Drew, and Gunther were facing off for the Intercontinental title, and we all thought Sheamus was in there to win the Intercontinental title, but it didn't happen. In that same way, I could see the swerve working for Logan Paul. He's doing great for the company. I mean, it's a big deal him being at SummerSlam as well. Keep the title on him. I'm not against it. From here, what I do think they should do is I think that based off what I saw on SmackDown, I want to see Naomi. I want to see the Kabuki Warriors versus Naomi and Jade Cargill. Jade has not been on TV yet. She's very over. There's a lot of people I know that are casuals that love Jade. So just put her on the card. Have it be Jade and Naomi together. And yeah, I think they should actually beat the Kabuki Warriors for the title. From there, we got the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And the Bloodline should win that one. People are going to be mad. And I think it's a great thing because people are going to be very emotional about seeing that victory. And they're going to be like, look at what The Rock's done. He has to put himself over. Rah, rah, rah. It's going to make people very angry. It's going to make people boo Roman even more. It's going to make that match on night 2 feel so much bigger. And I want to see The Rock pull a Mike Tyson level swerve on Roman and cost him the match on night 2. Cody Rhodes gets the win. Huge ovation, huge emotion out of everyone. I think that can be one of the biggest Mania moments in a long time. I like that. I think it's going to be such a huge payoff. Ever since The Rock mentioned the Bloodline Rules match, I've been on the side of please let that happen. Please let The Rock be the person to be like, I'm the one that cost you the title. Roman, screw you. And from here, I've been very impartial. I've been so much on the side of Roman Reigns just not showing up. Roman Reigns takes the loss and he goes away in silence. Solo and Jimmy from here, they're kind of like, we're the captains now. The Rock is the real head of the table. He gave us the reins to be, the next up. We feel like we're that guy. Roman Reigns can come back at SummerSlam, face off with them. From there, he goes away again, comes back at the Royal Rumble. He faces off. He wins the Royal Rumble match. He decides, look, I can go off and go back for my title, but I need to get my rematch now against Cody. Cody, you messed up my family. It's me versus you now. I know some people, they're not the biggest fans of constant repeat main events at WrestleMania, but this is one that would just make so much sense. I was actually on the side from when Cody first won the Royal Rumble and he had that segment with Seth Rollins and we saw The Rock come back. I've been on the side since then that The Rock should have faced Roman, had his moment with Roman Reigns, had Cody face off Seth Rollins, and Cody versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania next year. But what you can also do with this is you could also, next year's WrestleMania, depending on how The Rock's feeling, his schedule, everything, say, you know what, we're going to put a hiatus on Roman versus Cody 3 and decide to do Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania next year. And you get to tell the story of who's the real tribal chief. The story that was supposed to be this year, but if you guys want to build it up for a full year, that can be very huge. It can feel really great. I'm on that side of just doing that. And next match is going to be Drew McIntyre versus Seth. And I think The Rock should actually cost Seth his match. The Rock should cost Seth his match. Drew McIntyre gets the win. He gets the title. Seth Rollins should be able to take a break as well. Seth has been a great fighting champion. Let him have a couple months off, come back, get his title back, get his lick back, whatever it is. But Drew McIntyre should get the win. Is what it is. Have a good CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre match at SummerSlam or whenever CM Punk comes back. But The Rock should cost Seth Rollins a title match. That's honestly how I would book everything from night 1 and night 2 of what's announced so far. If you would like to book it differently, if you want to say what you would do, if you disagree, comment it down below and have your own discourse in the comment section below. Other than that, this is a renaissance of wrestling, and I appreciate you all for listening.